How to punch correctly. To be a superhuman, you need to be hard to kill and prepared to kill. To do that, you should know how to fight. Now, I know you will say, but punching or boxing is not the best self-defense martial art. It's BJJ. No, it's not, as it's just grabbing people and putting them to the ground. It doesn't work in the real world, as if you try to go up to grab someone, he will poke you in the eye and punch you or even stab you. That is why I think boxing is the most effective martial art, because it allows you to hit fast and then be in a safe position, because let's be real, kicks don't work in a real fight, because there are many disadvantages of throwing a kick, such as you can get out of balance. Your kick can be caught and you can fall. You can be wearing something tight, therefore your kick might not land, leaving you in a position you don't want to be in. But then also in the next one we will tell you how to throw a kick, but now let's dive into how to punch. Whilst punching, you should first hit where it lands, and you should first know your arsenal. Your jab is like a machine gun, but your cross, hooks and uppercuts are your shotgun. You can shoot machine gun, but when you shoot your shotgun it should land, as it has more power, but more importantly it needs more reload time. So you need to first jab to ensure a hook, uppercut, or a cross. Whilst punching, you see normal people taking their hands back and looking back, but it doesn't work like that. You need to reduce the distance you take your hand back to, and you need to punch hard with the power you generate with your technique. Here are 3 things I will tell you now. Number 1, how to set up punches. Number 2, how to generate power through technique. Number 3, how to not get hit. Number 1, how to set up punches. To set up punches, you need to master your jab. The jab is used to distract or occupy the opponent so that you can land the punch that has power. So you just got the answer. When you jab, you aim to occupy or distract your opponent and not necessarily harm the opponent. So when you jab, you need to do 2 things. Throw it fast so that it keeps the person reacting, and throw it to either blind your opponent, so throw it in his eyes vision, or to distract your opponent by throwing completely out of place to create an opening in your opponent's guard. So throw it, for example, if you're southpaw, throw it above his left ear so he ups his left hand to defend, and you get a chance to throw a right cross to the body. So let's summarize. To set up punches, you need to throw quick jabs to either occupy your opponent or to distract your opponent. You occupy your opponent by keeping him occupied with jabs on face till your opponent makes a mistake and gives an opening to throw a hard, powerful punch, and you distract your opponent by throwing quick jabs everywhere to create an opening for hard, powerful punches, and that's how you set up your punches. Number 2, how to generate power through technique. To generate power, there are a few techniques. The first technique requires you to flow with your punch, move with it in its direction with speed. The second technique requires you to try to punch through the person with balance, not at the person. The third technique requires you to get a quick snap from your shoulder joint and hip joint to get power in the punch. First technique, flow with your punch. When you are punching, some people just stand at one place and try to punch. They might be strong, but their punch might not be, and their opponent might be weaker, but its punch might be powerful. Do the technique I will teach you. This technique requires you to move your head, rotate your hips, and point your toes towards the direction you want to punch. If you do this, your one punch will be enough to get the job of knocking someone out done. Just imagine you punching like I just told you. Now practice this technique 5 times. Go. Second technique, punch through the person with balance, not at the person. You want throw your power punches with murderous intentions, so whenever you punch you need to just focus on the point you want to land your punch at, and you need to punch with the intention to tear through that point. This simple technique will make your punches so much more strong, but here's the catch. You need to do this with balance and stability, and you need to throw this type of hard tearing punches when you think you will hit the person and not miss. Now again, imagine yourself throwing such a punch with speed, power, and murderous intentions, and now practice that same punch 5 times. Go. Third technique, snap from your shoulder joint and hip joint to get power in the punch. This one is very simple. When you're about to punch, don't keep the movement's acceleration uniform. Make the punch accelerate non-uniformly. To do that, just when your punch has traveled half the place it has traveled to, then you snap your shoulder joint and hip joint in the direction of the punch. That gives the punch extra speed. Now one last time, imagine yourself throwing a punch while snapping your shoulder joint and hip joint. Done. Now practice this technique 5 times. Come on, go now. How to kick. So to achieve good kicks without being unstable or unbalanced, you need to first focus on 3 things, which are: 1. How to kick with balance. 2. How to improve the speed of your kicks. 3. How to get powerful kicks. So, the first point, how to kick with balance, can be done by working on your abductor muscles so that you can balance while kicking. Choose a target like a pillow or something, and start with low kicks with which you can gradually start kicking in higher position. Start making a chamber position and hold it for a minute, and also when you get adapted to the chamber position, then start throwing your punches while staying in your chamber position, which helps your arms and hips get adapted to it. If you are not able to hold the chamber position at first, then take the supportive wall and try to hold the position. After you have mastered the chamber position and able to balance yourself in that position, then start with the basic kicks, which are lower kicks, body kicks, roundhouse kick. At first, you can try the basic kicks with a low speed so that you can adapt to those kicks. Then comes the second point on how to improve the speed of your kicks. This can be done with the help of partner. Tell your partner to flash your targets as fast as possible, and you have to hit them as fast as you can. Do plyometric movements and wall-supported kicking to increase your leg power, which also increases your kicking speed. And how to get powerful kicks can be done by increasing your leg power as much as possible, because it can only boost your kick power. Some exercises which will help you to increase your kick powers, because while using kicks against your opponent you need speed as well as power. So the exercise are squat kicks, jumping squat kicks, and side kicks from ground. Remember all the points and tips told to you, as it will help you in the long run, and remember, practice makes a man perfect, so keep honing your kicks, and soon you'll be kicking with confidence. How to defend yourself in a fight. So to defend yourself in a fight can be done by 3 things which you have to master them. The first thing is fast body movement. The second thing is fast head movement. The third thing is fast hand movement to block opponent's attack. If your opponent is coming directly at you and trying to find a spot where he can punch, then in that situation a move can be by constantly moving your body away from your opponent, because you don't want to get hit by his or her punch. So keep in mind, keep moving your body constantly and stay away. And if your opponent is constantly hit you directly in your face, then you need to move your head constantly, and while moving your head, try to get away from your opponent and also try to find a spot where you can counterattack on him. And if your opponent is trying to throw a hook or an uppercut on you, then block these attacks with the help of your hands. As I have told you before, you need to protect your face and chin the most, and to protect them you need to predict the movement of hands of your opponent. So you need to constantly block his or her attacks and try to look for targets to counterattack your opponent. You can also remember this as an acronym BSR, which stands for block, slide, roll. Block, move your arms up to protect your face. Slide, move your upper body down and sideways to dodge your opponent's attacks. Roll, move or roll in a circular motion to confuse your opponent so that he/she is not able to make his game plan execute successfully, and also to dodge his or her punches. Remember all the tips and tricks told to you for your self-defense, which will help you beat the shit out of your opponent. Subscribe to get successful, smart, strong, sharp, and skilled. Follow us for consistent gains and progress.